Across continents and oceans, separated by thousands of years, ancient societies aligned their most enduring works to the recurring movements of the sun, moon, and stars. Long before cities rose or writing appeared, the heavens served as humanity's first stable reference system. The daily arc of the sun and the annual return of the stars provided a predictable map and calendar, dictating the timing of migrations, agriculture, and communal survival. In Ireland, the winter solstice sun clears the horizon and enters a precisely engineered roof box at Newgrange. For exactly 17 minutes, a single beam of light pierces the dark interior of a passage tomb built over 5,000 years ago. On the Salisbury Plain, the massive stones of Stonehenge frame the summer solstice sunrise with mathematical exactness, while also tracing the complex 19-year horizon positions of the moon. These structures are not isolated anomalies. When measured side by side, they reveal a consistent global language, carved directly into the landscape to endure for millennia. At Chaco Canyon in the North American Southwest, great houses and petroglyphs capture narrow shafts of shifting light, translating the movement of the sun across the solstices and equinoxes into a highly structured ceremonial environment. Further east, massive earthworks encode the extremes of the lunar standstill cycle. Tracking these rhythms requires uninterrupted observation, maintained across generations, demanding a degree of organizational continuity rarely associated with ancient cultures. In Southeast Asia, entire temple cities like Angkor Wat were designed as vast cosmological diagrams, where imperial urban planning was dictated by the positions of the stars and the timing of the solstices. Across the vast distances of the Pacific, the remote megalithic platforms of Rapa Nui incorporate exact solar tracking, connecting oceanic navigation and terrestrial ritual through a single astronomical standard. The question remains, why did disconnected civilizations organize their most important spaces around identical celestial cycles? Was this knowledge developed independently on every continent, or was it inherited from a common source? The consistent recurrence of these patterns suggests a deliberate global effort to permanently record the mechanics of the sky in the durability of stone. While surface monuments tracked the sky, ancient builders also directed their engineering downward. In central Anatolia, subterranean cities like Derinkuyu were carved deep into bedrock, featuring sophisticated ventilation shafts and defensive systems for thousands of residents. Other underground complexes, like the Hypogeum in Malta, display highly polished chambers tuned to precise acoustic frequencies. Excavating and securing these environments required an understanding of spatial engineering and environmental control that matches the complexity of surface temples. Environmental records and oral traditions consistently describe a period of profound instability, an epoch defined by world-altering floods and atmospheric darkening that threatened human survival. This map displays fragmentation impact sites from the Younger Dryas era, roughly 12,900 years ago. It illustrates extreme climate volatility, cooling, and ice sheet instability. These localized firestorms and megafloods would have forced an immediate restart of civilization, prioritizing the preservation of specialized knowledge. When the landscape is volatile, a stable calendar and a secure shelter become primary mechanisms for survival. Viewed through this lens, ancient monuments and protected caves function as cross-generational archives designed to bridge the gaps between collapses. The megalithic enclosures at Göbekli Tepe feature precise celestial orientations, despite being built thousands of years before the first known cities. If societies recovering from catastrophe possessed such data, the question of where that knowledge originated becomes central to the mystery. At Tiwanaku, oral traditions recall Viracocha, a figure who appeared after a period of darkness to instruct humanity. This theme repeats with Mesoamerica's Quetzalcoatl, and in Mesopotamia with the Apkallu, figures remembered not as conquerors, but as teachers who delivered the foundations of astronomy, agriculture, and law. This concept is recorded in the Book of Enoch, where extraordinary beings known as Watchers descend from the heavens. The text details their role in transmitting advanced technical knowledge, from metallurgy to the deep secrets of the stars, providing the structural foundations for organized society. In the Pacific, the massive basalt structures of Nan Madol were integrated with stellar pathways used in long-distance navigation. These maritime cultures similarly attribute their architectural and celestial principles to ancestral voyagers who carried knowledge across the oceans. Throughout the ancient world, the most precise astronomical monuments universally coincide with these mythic traditions of sky-born teachers and the preservation of inherited wisdom. Mapping the deepest cycles of the cosmos is not a casual endeavor. It requires unbroken observation, carefully passed from master to apprentice, extending across centuries of collective effort. Tracking the precession of the equinoxes, the extremely slow shift of constellations against the horizon line, demands a chain of data collection spanning hundreds of generations. This level of continuity suggests the existence of organized, long-term institutions. Today, researchers analyzing deep ice cores find physical evidence of severe environmental stress that aligns precisely with the eras of catastrophe remembered in ancient oral traditions. Ancient temple systems and observatories functioned as mechanisms for preserving this vital survival data, ensuring that the hard-won knowledge of the heavens survived, even when the societies on the ground were transformed by upheaval. These megaliths stand as physical evidence of a global effort to encode the sky and preserve human continuity. They are the artifacts of a shared obsession with the movements of the stars. The heavens served as an indestructible archive, a library that could not be burned by war or buried by natural disaster. Generation after generation, the same stars returned overhead, carrying the stories and measurements required to navigate the future. How exactly do the precise patterns tracked in the sky connect to the physical scars left upon the Earth? The data carved into the stones and the scars found in the geology are two halves of the same story, a record of humanity's profound and enduring relationship with the cosmos. The builders are long gone, but their alignments endure, standing as a silent, permanent archive of the long vigil our ancestors kept with the heavens.